bless her sweet little heart. God bless her. If you visit Georgia or other southern states in the United States and somebody says, bless your sweet little heart, God bless you. It's not just a prayer. We're not being nice and polite. We're trying to say, you're really stupid. And hopefully God will take care of you because you don't have the sense to take care of yourself. And that's what happened to this lady that sent me these shears. And I hope she's not watching this video because she did two really stupid things about these tools that are her main money maker. When you get shears and you take care of shears and you're a hairstylist, you want these to be your main money maker. So what did she do wrong on these shears? Right from the get-go, and that's also a southern term, get-go. Right from the beginning, when she bought these shears, wherever she bought these shears from, she sent me an email saying they were Joelle. Well, yeah, they've got the little chicken on them. You see, Joelle scissors and shears have the little chicken on them. But that ain't the Joelle chicken. No, this is not the chicken that Joelle puts on their shears. This is not a Joelle shear. It just has a chicken on it and it says X7. I don't know who makes it. I don't know. Whoever it is trying to fool the stylist. So I would think the person that sold it to her and the people that make it in whatever country, wherever they're shipping it from. So I don't have high expectations on the quality of the shears. The other thing, listen. Can you hear that? She tried to sharpen these herself. Now, I thought when she contacted me, because I get a lot of shears coming in from sharpeners that make mistakes and boo-boos and whatever. So she told me that she had tried to sharpen she said she had ruined these shears and she needed me to fix them. And when she sharpened them, she ruined them. I kind of thought she was a professional sharpener, so I answered her like that, and I told her a very discounted price for sharpening. Now, normally I would charge her $45, and I didn't charge her that because I thought it was a sharpener, and I was helping him out, and I told her I'd shoot a video on how I sharpen him. Well, I'm going to get into the sharpening of them if you're interested in seeing that and seeing how I fix them and how I get this noise out. And watch how they cut. Now, this is a mannequin. She's kind of gone through, I think, a gender change or something. I don't know. But can you see how these cut? Look. She took some bad and made it worse. Bless her sweet little heart. So I'm going to use my Cymac Junior today just because I want to practice with it. I haven't been using them that much, and when I train I want to be very familiar with them. My preference would be the Cymac HD. The clamp is not as fiddly, and if I sit down to sharpen on this, the dust is coming at my face, so I probably need to stand up. Oh, I'm feeling lazy though. We'll see when I get into this whether I stand or sit down. If you do use it sitting down, it's probably better to wear a mask. I'm hoarse today, not from sharpening, but I just got back from a hair show in Birmingham, which was pretty good. Where is she from? She's kind of southern. Enough that if I say bless your sweet little heart, she probably knows what I mean by that. Put a comment below if you've never heard that comment from a southerner, or if you have heard it from a southerner. We try to be polite. We try to be polite. Sometimes I am just way too abrupt. Alright, so let's get into what we're doing here. So, I don't know what she sharpened these with. She said she did it, not her husband or somebody. Now, they may have been sharpened before, and she's just sharpened them again, but can you see that's just rough? If just rough. I don't know. She used maybe she saw my video on the nail buffer and she used an emery board. Who knows? Maybe she's been watching my videos because you see the blue Sharpie here. So, and she colored it in to try to do it. The reason I give a lot of hope to these, the ride line doesn't look that messed up. So if the ride line's not that messed up, I can probably fix this outside part. And fix that noise. Well, that noise is usually from the ride line, so the ride line might be gone here. That might be where I'm hearing the noise. Let's just get into it and sharpen it and see what happens. Sometimes we anticipate problems that will never exist, and we can do that a lot in life, and you can do that a lot in sharpening. Sometimes we look at a pair of shears and we're just so overwhelmed by them, we think, oh, I could never fix these. And sometimes just doing normal sharpening. Now see, these have a ball bearing washer, so they're, I mean, they may be knockoff shears, but they're not that cheap because that's a more expensive type of screw mechanism. I had a lady at this last hair show. She brought me 2 shears for Jay to sharpen. We were charging $35 a pair at the show. And she brought me these shears to sharpen. And I'd never heard of the brand before. And she said she had paid $198 each for them. And the screw, she said the screw wasn't holding. The screw never held from the beginning. And so I'm looking at the screw, and the screw on them, instead of having like the internal clicker plate and the little teeth and all that, like this type of screw, and these are probably cheap scissors at this, it just had like a little rubber donut, just a little rubber insert there. I'm fixing to do the ride line here, in case you're wondering what I'm doing as I'm talking. Both of those scissors, shears, whatever, had just a piece of like rubber underneath the thumb screw, so there was only friction there to hold them together. Just a really poor screw mechanism. Now we sell those little replacement rubber donuts because we sell all kinds of scissor parts. And so I mean, if you've got to work on a shear like that, but I told her they weren't worth working on. And excuse me, I'm still hoarse from talking to so many people over the weekend. And she kind of knew too, but I mean, and she could have been lying to me about paying $198. Now you see, I've got a good ride line here, nothing there. And the reason why so much metal's been taken off by her or a previous sharpener, that it's changed the shape of that shear so that it's really out of alignment. I could bend it or hammer it, but instead I'm just going to work this area of my ride line more, take off a little extra metal so that the whole thing comes down. I don't like to bend or hammer shears. Now I'm going to be going to a sharpening convention. I'm not the host of it. I'm one of the speakers in New Orleans, the International Beauty Sharpening Association. I know I call it Beauty Sharpeners, but it's Beauty Sharpening Association. And they'll be doing some classes on bending and hammering. I'll actually be selling some hammers. I don't believe in hammering shears, but those that want to know how to do it, there are classes on it. Now, the other way I could fix this shear, if I really want to put the time into it, is, and you can, maybe I'll remember to put the link up here, the link at the end. There's a chamfering technique where I could take this part off the shear. See that little bit right there? And that's going to bring everything down and help with that alignment issue. So there's a couple of ways to fix it right. I'm doing the fix it easy. I'm assuming this is going to work and be sufficient. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for a good, reasonable cut. Because these are knockoff shears. I mean, if they were really... Now, see, that ride line's coming pretty good. Can you compare? The reason this rod line's coming up better is there's a less of a dip down there than there is here. See what I'm talking about? See, this has a smaller, maybe 2 millimeters dip where they've taken it off, and this is probably closer to like 3 millimeters with a little scoop there. So that's why I'm seeing the rod line work better here. Still a little wimpy right there. I might do a little bit of in the corner. Now Kayla's coming in today. We've got a couple of part-time young people that work for us, and she actually enjoys flattening my water stones, so I'm going to have her do that today, but for now it's good. I'm going to set these at 40. They're probably 45 originally. 45 will be a sharper edge, but these are, I've got such weak hands. These have been messed up so much that you're better off doing them at a blunter angle. 40 is the lowest that I will do a convex edge shear. Typically. I never say never. Now I've got a worn 800 cushion plate here. No, there's no edge on there. I'm going to have to use something really, really coarse here to get this going. What do I have here? Here's a 400 cushion plate. I'll try it first. This doesn't work. I'll pull out my 3M. This is the coarsest the blue film comes in, is the 400. Alright, I'm going to don't do as I do. Do as I say. I'm going to sharpen this sitting down without wearing a mask. I'm 67. I guess I should be protecting my lungs more. But I've been sharpening for 30 years and my lungs seem to be in pretty good shape. Now one trick if you use this machine, I've learned, is if I just have it on, the power on, and I have it go in the direction I want it to go for right-handed shears, then I just turn the dial with my right hand up or down to stop her, to go faster or stop it or whatever, and that seems to work better for me. And also I was tilting the clamp, the shear in the clamp. I think I get a better tip, but it doesn't stay in the clamp well, so I kind of have to go with the limitations of this machine. But I told you that it'll do a good job sharpening. Oh man, I'm nowhere near the edge. Yeah, I'm nowhere near the edge. I'm going to actually go with a flat plate on this. I just got to get some metal moving. Bless her sweet little heart. Bless her heart. This is what happens when you try to sharpen your own shears and you don't have the training or the equipment. What if these had really been expensive shears? I mean, she would have, you know, even now, it's years are off the life of them. I'm not going to worry about rocking it at this point. I just want to get to the edge, and then I can do the rocking, see? Wow. Let's crank this thing up and move my water stone. I don't want to grit falling on that. No, but it's getting hot. Let's find something that's more aggressive than that. So this is the coarsest grit I've got. 100 micron. Technically, it's supposed to be kind of equivalent to the 400 grit on the blue film, but it's really not. The 3M is a little bit more aggressive, and I probably need to move these plates over on this side. I don't really want all that grit falling on them, especially not my polishing pad. And going this course, yes, it speeds up my time, but I'm going to have to work a lot to get all the scratches out. Water, because it was getting hot. Finally can feel a little bit of a burr right there. Oh, I think I feel a burr. Oh man, that looks awful. Looks weighty. That waviness was coming from me doing this incorrectly. I was doing the rocking coming down and it was getting a little wavy thing. I guess I should have showed you what it looked like. Still can see a little of the waves in here. I'll work on getting that out. I still don't really have a burr. Let me color it in so I can see what's going on. This is like putting a fillet knife edge on a butter knife. Yeah, I can still see the red right along the edge. I'm not quite there. So close. Pick this up. You gotta work it down. You gotta work it right here. Don't have one doing that. Right, like here, I need to always make sure it's not up or down. To me, it's hard to do that thin enough. Just you can see what it's not much better like this. It's a burr. It's tiny. It's a burr. Not good. Okay, so now I'm going to go from the 100 flat to the 400 cushion. Crank it all the way up. Purpose to get a better convex look to it. I'm starting further back on the blade, and also to get a lot of the scratches out and make it smoother. That tip did not look good to me before. Let's see what it looks like after I do this. If I'm here in the center, I want to make sure that tip's not touching beyond that center hole. Oh, that's getting there. It's getting there. A little bit more convex edge shaping. Oh, I might want to do a little bit shinier polish. Let's see, this is a, what is this one? It's a worn 800. It's always good to write down on here what you got so you'll know. So this was a slightly worn 400. This is a worn 800. And that's to get some of those scratches out, make it look prettier. Not beautiful, but that said, my purpose here, I'm not trying to pass some kind of sharpening certification. I'm not trying to make these be like new. I just want to get them functional and look reasonably good. So that may polish up okay. That looks pretty scratchy, but that may polish. We'll see. Back to the same step. So the second one is shorter. So I may skip all these steps. So I've sharpened both blades, and this is one of those do as I say, not do as I do. And I did the front blade first. I don't know if you can see, but I think the back blade looks better. So I suggest you always start with the back blade and then do the front blade, because you sort of learn off the first blade. So now I'm going back to my water stone, and I hear Kayla's here. I'm going to have her flatten my stone for me, because she made the mistake of saying she enjoyed doing it. So that's her job now. I'm removing that little bit of burr on the inside. Well, not really seeing any burr behind, but I'm assuming it's there, and I'm wiping it off. See how nice this water bottle is? One pump. You don't have to keep pumping it. Anything to make my hand work a little bit less when I'm doing this. Hey, Kayla?
Yes?
I'm going to give you this water stone.
Okay.
And let you flatten it today. I'm through with it for right now. This one
Okay.
and this one. You might want to take this with you.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kayla. It's fun, right?
Yes.
She says it's fun. If you got kids, it's sort of like Tom Sawyer and the picket fence. I'm amazed how few children know about Tom Sawyer and the picket fence. You know what? I know why I'm having such trouble getting that burr on there. This is why I need to use a Simek Junior to get used to it. I didn't tighten the little brass thing down. I just tightened this, and it drifted on me. And so where I was sharpening it at 40 degrees is what I was aiming for, it was actually 50 degrees. So these are going to be really sharp. Oh, so I want to polish it above there. Well, let's see how they do. We might have to go back and do a blunter angle, but they may come out okay. We'll see. Yeah. So, the moral of the story, if you have this clamp, once you move this to set your angle, you've got to lock it into place with that, which I didn't do. And it moved and it drifted on me. Bless my sweet little heart. God bless me. Stupid Bonnie. And I know how to use this clamp. But I need practice, and that's why practice is important. And that's why I'm sharpening on Simek Junior today. And trying to get a hang of it. I'm going to go fast. Probably should be standing again, but when I stand, I tend to get a little bit of waves because I'm not used to standing and sharpening. I can see better what I'm doing when I'm this close sitting down. I'm very nearsighted. Let's see what it looks That's good enough. So these are going to come out really sharp. I don't know if they'll hold that thin of an edge. But bless her sweet little heart. Maybe next time she'll get them sharpened professionally instead of try to do it herself. Could polish those a little bit more, but oh, those are wicked sharp. Okay. Let's put them together and test them. See what happens. Can't believe I made that mistake. But that's why you got to get used to your equipment and do a little practice. But I also want you to see how I can make a mistake. And that wasn't an egregious one like the one the stylist did. But it was a bless your dear little heart, Bonnie moment. Okay, I still feel a little roughness there. So I'm taking my nail buffer and just going over it. You got it done?
It's still wet, but yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Kayla. Well, you see, I'm doing a video, but you see the black still here? Mm-hmm. You need to keep working it until it's all this color.
Okay.
Because see, these sides have been worn down, so it's not really totally flat. And it's got to be flat, or the inside of the shear is not flat.
Okay.
This side doesn't look too bad. But that side, you see, so you're going to keep working a little bit more.
Alright.
So now it might not be as fun.
Still fun.
It's still fun. Okay. Okay. Kayla is not a grandchild. Back in the early days when I used to go out and sharpen the salons, and I'd take my daughters with me, and after a while they didn't like going, or they didn't want to go, or what have you. I would actually borrow more children and take them with me when I went out sharpening. I like having company. I like having young people around me. And this is not one of my granddaughters, but it's one that comes in and works part-time because she homeschools. And I find that sometimes they work better than your own children, own grandchildren. So if you don't have family to work with, you could also use neighbors or friends, or we've had over the years, we've had neighbors and friends and different ones like that work for us. Really haven't had luck just advertising. Advertised recently for someone to come in, and I was going to teach him how to sharpen and everything. We advertised, and he came in, and he seemed pretty good in the initial interview. And then the first day he came, I made it clear that no smoking cigarettes, and he was late because he was outside the place smoking a cigarette, and he just reeked of cigarettes. And I was like, nope, that's okay. My tips aren't coming together. I'm cutting the... But do you remember how noisy they were? Listen. They're quiet again. The tip doesn't come together. I have the choices of shortening the bumper, but that bumper is a screw-in bumper and there's not a lot of room there. I could shorten the tip. Oh, Bobo's here. It's a... Hey, Bo! Hey, Bobo! Did you miss us this weekend? Yeah, yeah. But I'm going to bend the handle. In a last video I just did, someone asked me, so, well, why did you bend the handle instead of taking something off the bumper? Well, I'm pretty sure these handles will bend, but I'm going to do it gently. I would hate to break her shears after all this. So I want to bend it out. So I want to make this an arrow. I'm going to gently, and I'm using, I don't know how to describe how tight my fingers are squeezing. It's less pressure than I'm using to squirt that bottle, okay? Less pressure than that. So the same, maybe like I'm squirting the bottle, is what I'm doing. Same exact pressure. And let's see if those tips come together. Too much. That's how soft that handle is. Look, they overlap now. Now I've got to bend it back the other way. That was actually too much pressure. So I want to, there. Now I still may want to round off that tip. Of course, that doesn't feel bad. These feel pretty good. Let's see how they cut. So, my secret single ply toilet tissue. Wet it. Alright, drum roll please. Nah. Oh, it's probably loose. Yes, it's loose. That should be about right. Okay. Drum roll, please. Now you see, that's the key. You got to see another lesson here. How important having that screw, the right adjustment is. Let's see how it cuts hair. Remember, it didn't cut hair before. So. Oh, no, it's still folding. Still folding. Still folding hair. Yeah, it's still folding at the tip. Dadgummit. So, I know I did it at too sharp of an angle. I'm going to go back on one blade and make it a 40-degree angle. I screwed up on these, or it may be just these scissors are too far gone with the amount of metal that's come off of them. Alright, so I'm going to put my worn 800, my favorite grit. I make a list of things that goes in my casket with me when I die. I might put a worn 800 grit in there just in case I need it. It's my favorite. Okay, so I'm going to use this blade feels the worst, so I'm going to do that blade. Normally it would be the back blade. So I'm in the clamp at 40 degrees. I forgot you were still there. Yeah, I've been really working on this thing. I think she must have ramped down on a knife sharpener the inside ride, because I've even set this down to 35 and I'm not feeling a burr, and this just doesn't feel sharp to me. And this is one I would walk away from, but let's get something really coarse and work this ride line. I think this is more than I just did it at the wrong angle. I don't think I ever, I don't know. It just doesn't feel sharp. So I'm going with something really rough, making sure I've got a ride line. I'm thinking she must have put them in a knife sharpener. thinking of running into the same problem I did with that left-handed Hanzo video I did. This is not your typical having to sharpen it. If you were in the salon, you'd just say, hey, these are, you've ruined them. So this is a, I don't know, 600 grit or something. I was hoping this would be a short video about what not to do. And it may still be just a long video on what not to do. Sharpening and repairing. Yeah, I'm not getting a ride there. Make sure your finger's over that pivot if you're doing this kind of a rub. Almost tempted to put it on my machine or on something like this. And back to this. Yeah, I've taken a lot back down there. Let's see if this gets it. I just want them to cut. And Kayla wonders how all this gets on the stone. It's this. Thought I worked this one to begin with, but I guess I didn't do enough. Just was too excited thinking I had the right line. Maybe it's, I don't know. Don't know. Let's put this back in the clamp, see if I can get a burr. Didn't want to work this hard on these shears. I'm not rocking it, I just want to get a burr. 14 burr. That might be just a minute, because I want to do that. Where's that? No, it's fine. Goodbye. I just want to get these done and get them in the mail. I'm feeling a burr, I think. No, I can still see red right there. No, I can see pins I'm using. This one's wrong. You can burr everything I No, these don't even feel sharp. What did she do to them? What did she do to them? This one's not so bad. I want you to see this. When I look back and forth right on the edge, I can still see red. I am not at the edge. How could I not be at the edge? These have me completely baffled. Yeah, I see red right there, all the way down. On this one, no, I got to the edge on that one. What did she do? decided I've worked on these long enough. I don't think I fixed them. When they give you something like this and they tell you that they've ruined them, you're probably better off to walk away. I just thought it'd make an interesting video. I thought I could fix them. I thought just simple sharpening would do it, but no, not these. And I have brought back a lot of things from the dead, but I think these are going to be failures. But let me put them back together and we'll test them. Miracles do happen. Maybe it'll cut dry tissue, which I'll consider that a improvement, but sometimes, and I worked on them long enough, I have to believe I could get them to work, but I'm not willing to put that much time into it. And I'm sure you're not willing to watch that long a video. I think what has happened, this blade's not so bad. This one here, I think she went in and somehow that what I thought was a ride line really was a bevel, like from a knife sharpener. And I've taken off a lot of metal, but I would have to take it all the way off, remove what looks to me like a ride line, and then go back and reestablish the ride line. And I did that on those Lefty Hanzos because the person had paid like $700 for them. But these, I don't know what she paid, but whatever she paid too much. So I'm going to cut, if there's any burr on it, I'm going to cut it off on a paper towel. So it does cut the paper towel. So I'm hoping it'll cut dry tissue. Let's see. Drum roll. It's adjusted right. Cuts dry. I'm going to consider that a success. Let's see if it cuts wet. I'm actually amazed it cut dry. But let's see if it cuts wet. Cuts wet. Cut wet before though, remember? It folded the hair before. Let's see if it still does. Still folds the hair a little bit. See? I could make it with some crab grip to my hands. I could make it where it cuts at the tip, but it catches. It's still catching. So, bless her little heart. I would give these back and say I've improved these 100%. That tip's pointing. Let's do that a little bit. So I would say I've improved these 100%. But they're not like new, and I can't resurrect the dead, and I mean, so these might be your little zombies. They're still walking around, but they're really dead and they need to be replaced. But with side pressure, you see I'm gripping them, I can make them cut to the tip. If I just do light pressure, it's folding, but with side pressure they'll cut. Maybe just tighten the screw a little bit more than it should be, so it doesn't move. Yeah, if I tighten the screw, I can make it work. So I'm going to consider that a reasonable success depending on what came in here. A lot more work than I should have put into them. Could I have got them better if I'd put more work into them? Well, maybe. But that would be, I would take these as a trade-in on a new pair, and then I would just work at it like a hobby, just for my own edification, see if I could fix it. Probably take this area, this chamfering. I would, you know, spend a few hours on it, and I can make them reasonable, but they're not worth it. Now, I've noticed on my analytics that about 70% of you that are watching my videos and watch them all the way to the end are not subscribers. And the reason you want to subscribe is for you more than for me, because it'll help bring those videos up a little bit more, especially if you hit the bell. I try to put out a video now every Monday, but the bell will remind you I have a video, and I try not to repeat myself, because there's always interesting stuff like this coming in. And if you like a lot of sharpening tips, you know, make sure you subscribe, and also get on my newsletter. And I have a Facebook group called Sharpeners Jam Group, because we have an annual Sharpeners Jam we put on. and that's mostly free. Some of it's online, some of it's in person. Depends on where you are, if you can get to us. And hope to see you in some future videos. Maybe I'll see you here in my training facility.